Welcome to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and make brand new treasures. So today we're going to make something that I started making when I was a teenager, and I used to decorate my shoes with them. So we're going to make some shoe charms, and I've got some here attached to some sneakers. So today we're going to make charms that relate to theater, but they could be anything. So basically I'm taking an image. It could be a picture, it could be something that really inspires you, it could be out of a magazine, and I'm taking, some of these are old beads from costume jewelry, like this one right here is from costume jewelry, and some scraps of fabric. I've got another set here. I used to do them when I was a teenager. I used to make them for my flats, for my heels or my dress shoes, just to kind of dress them up a little bit, and I would coordinate them with the outfits that I was wearing that day. So look at this. I mean, this is old costume jewelry, and these are obviously images from musicals. So today we're going to make shoe charms using old costume jewelry and images. All right, let's get crafting. Okay, so here are the materials that I've used for my particular charms. So I have these images that are right out of a brochure. I love these images. I use them a lot. You need obviously your UV resin and gloves so you can protect your hands, and your UV light. When I am putting the resin on the images, I actually use a paintbrush and a paper plate. I use this particular punch just to cut them up, but you could use scissors if you don't have one. And then any sort of trims that you might want to use to decorate around the image. And you need these clips. So these clips I got right off of Amazon, and I'll show them to you when we get into making them, but they clip right onto the shoes. And then obviously you need your glue gun. And here we go. So here's the punch, and it happens to be the right size for what I'm doing here. So I'm literally just punching those images right out. But again, you could cut them if you don't have a punch, or for whatever image you have. And so I'm going to cut out all of these images, and I just think it'll be really kind of fun to make shoe charms that are whatever that you particularly like. If you have sports or like Disney characters or princesses or superheroes or whatever. I just think this is really fun to be able to personalize what you're wearing. Okay, so we're going to take these paper rounds that we've cut out, and basically we're going to make them into like hardened kind of charms. So literally I'm taking the resin, notice I have gloves on, and I'm painting them on. I find that painting on first gives me good coverage, and then I'm actually going to kind of coat it in a different way afterwards. If you are struggling and it's moving around on you, you can grab a toothpick and just hold it down. But basically getting some good coverage on all of these with that. And then I'm going to put it under the UV lamp for a couple of minutes and let this harden. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to put a second coat just so that they can be nice and almost like coins. They're so hard. You'll see in a moment. So putting it under the lamp, give it a couple minutes, and then once that is hardened, you see, I'm going to take, and I'm just going to put, now I'm going to use and kind of dome it a little bit. And you'll see now that we've got a good coat on the bottom, it's kind of like adding your second coat of paint, that you don't have to be quite as careful as the first coat. So basically putting a coverage around each of them. And then I'm going to put it under the lamp again and let that cure for at least like about 3 minutes, just to make sure that it's nice and solid. Then I'm going to do the same process on the other side. So they'll be covered on both sides. Okay, now they are completely covered on both sides, and this is the clamp that you're going to use that will secure it to your shoes, or you could put it on a bag or a baseball cap, anything like that. So I just want to show you how that's going to fit onto those. And I put it kind of like so that it's going downward, so that when you're wearing them on shoes or you're clipping it on a bag, it's going to be a little bit more secure. So I'm going to grab some felt and I'm going to cut out some circles for each one of these. So I just random felt that I had in my stash. And I have found some colors and I'm just going to cut those out. Literally just cut them out. And in case you were wondering how I'm cutting them out, this is literally, I'm just kind of eyeballing it using the charm there as the guide. I'm actually going to have to cut out 2 for each one, and you'll see that in a little bit later. So I'm going to cut out 1 here, and then I will cut out a second one later, and I'm cutting 1 out for each one. I'm using a color that kind of coordinates with the particular charm that I've got. And then once you have those cut out, you're not going to do anything with it yet, but you are going to come up with a plan for each one of your charms. So you can have some ribbon or some jewels. I have some needle and thread because I'm going to take and use that with the ribbon. But I have old costume jewelry here, and I just think it would be kind of cool to be able to use that in making the charms. So whatever you've got, take a look at what you have and how you can coordinate it with each one of those images. Okay, so we're going to start with the Chicago charm here, and I want to show you how I use my needle and thread and how I make a knot. So I'm doubling up the thread, and then I'm going to take my finger and lick it. I know that seems weird, but then you're going to wrap it around loosely, and then take your thumb and roll it, and then pull it down with your middle finger, and it creates a really nice knot. That's kind of my tip for making a good knot when you're hand sewing. All right, so I'm going to take my kind of trim here, and I'm going to make kind of a loose gather. So literally just not making it very neat. I'm literally just going back and forth so I can gather that trim, and I'm going to make it into kind of a ruffled circle that I'm going to put behind that that charm. All right, so you're going to gather. You know, it's totally up to you how gathered you want it. So it could be 10 or 12 inches of the ribbon, but again, you determine what looks right for you and what you're creating. So you're going to keep gathering it, and then when you get to the end, you're going to ruffle that around and make kind of a medallion, and you will sew those ends together. So you see I've got the very end here, and then I'm going to sew that together to finish that medallion. See how that looks? And again, this is going to be on the inside, so you don't have to be completely neat about it. And so when I'm doing my final stitches, I'll do a stitch and then put my needle through the hole there, and that makes a nice knot. I do that a couple of times, and then you're going to cut that off and take your medallion there, and you're going to put that right in the middle with a little hot glue. So before putting it onto the medallion, I'm going to take a head pin, and I found some jewels that I really liked. Beads and such, and I decided to put those on the bottom here, and then I'm going to put that with the medallion that we just made. Now there are a couple ways you can do that. You can put it like kind of weave it through the lace there. I decided to glue it onto the backing, and that'll make sense in a moment. So I'm going to take the Chicago medallion, I'm going to put it onto the lace, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put a little glue on the end here because I was afraid the beads would move, but basically going to take the felt that I put on the back and then glue this right on like that. And that's awesome. That's all it takes right there. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And this is what it looks like so far. I love the beads on the bottom there. So then we're going to attach the clip to attach it to your shoes. So basically I've cut out, like you see, another piece of felt, and you've got the clip there. And I found that if you put kind of a nice dollop of hot glue in the middle there, and then put the clip down. The glue's going to kind of seep through. You see the holes in the clip, and then that will help to hold the piece of felt in place, and that will sandwich the clip. And you want to make sure that it's facing the right direction. Ask me how I know that. That's because it happened. But then basically you're done. I love this. I just think this is so cute. And basically you can use this, like I said, you can use this on shoes, like you see here on my sneakers, but you could put it on a bag, you can put it on, your notebook, your binder, your script, whatever you have, and you just clip that right on and you're good to go. And boy, that dresses up your sneakers or your dress shoes or whatever it is that you're wearing. Look at these Mean Girls and the 6. I love them so much. And there's Aladdin. You see all the different kinds. There are lots of different jewels that I used from old costume jewelry and kind of little beads that I had hanging around. So listen, I hope you give this a try. Really make these kind of dress up your shoes, your dress shoes. If you're going out in the evening, you can make them coordinate with whatever it is you're wearing. I think that's pretty awesome. So I hope you try this. And let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite one that you like of the ones here I've made? And if you can, I would really love it if you would like this video, if you found that it was something that you might like to try, and subscribe if you get a chance. That would make me so happy, and it would really help me out. So thank you for joining me for this week's Theater Craft, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.